And I have a really neat recipe today. I went down to the farmer's market on Saturday, downtown Sarasota, and of course I had to stop at Peperonata Pasta. Now you would think if I'm buying a pasta version of gnocchi that has the flavors of tomato and basil that I would go straight Italian. I'm not going to. I'm going to come up with a great casserole that you can enjoy whether you're watching the basketball game tonight or Father's Day or anytime. We're blending it with some wonderful fresh salsa, also from the farmer's market. Instead of the tomato sauce, I'm going to marry some traditional basil into that, but I also found a great organic Mexican seasoning that has no MSG. You're going to really love it. So stay with me. It's time to start cooking up the bison and the ground turkey, and we're going to have a real flavorful casserole today. So what I've done is I have a couple casserole dishes already in the oven. Remember, it's layers of that delicious pasta, ground turkey and ground bison mixed together, and then more layers of fresh salsa from the farmer's market, shredded Mexican cheese. And if you want to go a little decadent, I bought a spicy Mexican cheese dip and I put that on top as well. That's going to bake in the oven probably about 25 minutes tops. Salsa is layered in it. Now let's get to the fresh part that's going to go on top. We have some chopped scallions. We have more of that delicious fresh salsa. And I have black beans. You always want to drain the black beans. You don't want to keep that syrup that they're in because it's just going to make it too pasty and starchy. And the fresh corn is so good already this season. It's going to be a great corn season, uncooked off the husk. Now, instead of the cilantro, here we go with the fresh basil. And I have to tell you, if your basil outside, it should be getting the morning sun. It is just going to make so much. It's just producing beautifully for me because it's only getting the morning sun, and then I give it water every other day. It's one of my most successful ones. If you want to add a teeny bit of vegetable oil at this point, you can. The only other thing I want to do is take a little more of this great seasoning that I told you about, just to give it that pop. It's going to be fun with the basil. And then I have one already out of the oven. So let's just put some of this corn and black bean salsa on top to kind of decorate that a little bit. It's also going to give you a little extra flavor. From there, if you wanted to add a little dollop of, say, guacamole or just some sliced avocado, that's going to work well. And guacamole and the basil really come together, so it makes for a complete dish. So excuse me, I think we have it all set. I serve it with a little hot sauce on the side, some extra fresh basil, and I think we have a really cool casserole. So you'll come back and we'll have a little bit of lunch and continue on in just a few minutes.
Man, this looks good. Spoon it up here, Judy.
All right, honey. Here we go, John. Right out of the oven.
Delish.
So what I did was I took that delicious pasta, the gnocchi that's made with the pasta instead of the potato, and of course I'm going to make a mess of it right here, okay? But then what I do after that's cooked, ground turkey, ground bison, brown it up. Let's give you a little of that with fresh basil. Then I layer it almost like a baked ziti that you would, but we're using salsa as the base, fresh salsa from the farmer's market instead of tomato sauce.
And you're using more traditional, it looks like Mexican kind of cheeses, right?
Exactly, the Mexican cheeses, but bringing it back again to the Italian side with the basil instead of cilantro. You like it? I mean, it's,
you know, this is a family pleaser right here.
You know,
kids will love this.
They will, and what's funny is growing up, my mother did not make casseroles. I always felt like we were cheated. Oh, we have to have steak again tonight. Oh, another, you know, roast beef. And I wanted casseroles, I know. So I tend to play around with the casseroles a little bit, and this just felt like an easy one, maybe for Father's Day, certainly while you're watching the basketball games, and I think we might even get Scott to eat a little bit of this too.
Well, you know what's great about this too is that one of the things I love about casseroles is that you can freeze some casseroles. You can pop them out in the morning. They'll be ready to go at night when you come home.
John, look at this.
Simple, easy breezy.
I have another one that's going home. And remember, everybody, you can get this recipe and so many other recipes only shown on mysuncoast.com. Click on that dining page. We have great restaurant reviews, all sorts of cooking tips and contests, and I think it's all going to work out that everybody's going to love it.
Yeah, it's absolutely delicious, Judy, and I can see this being a real cloud breather. Plus, you know what? I bet if you have some leftovers, you could probably pop this into a taco shell or something like that.
Okay, now you're out of control. That's a great idea.
Or a burrito, maybe?
I don't know. What do you think, Scott? Do you think we need a burrito style? I mean, you like Mexican food, right, Scott?
I love Mexican. I love Italian.
So there you go. So I married these together, and I think the basil.
He got more than I did. You always love Scott
wait a minute,
best.
wait a minute. I want everybody to know equally, I love both these men. They're like my brothers, my older brothers, but my brothers. But there's one for you and one for you.
Really
and
good.
Play with it. Have some fun with what you want. The extra salsa, like you said, you can save it. I'm going to put it in a Ziploc bag. Tomorrow, we're going to have a great chopped salad with the leftover browned meat, and I'll just make it as a chopped Mexican salad.
always,
so lots of different things.
Very creative, Judy.
Thank you.
Thank you both. Thank you for joining us. Can't wait to dig into this. Have a